All right, how's it going? So it's time we had a heart-to-heart about something that's been going on lately. It seems as though there's been, in the past few weeks, past few months, a number of major YouTubers who have announced that they are either quitting or significantly rolling back their presence on YouTube. So today I'd like to give you my swag on this quitting trend. And no, rest assured, I am not quitting. So let's roll the intro. How you doing? I'm Cliff Wagner. And just to recap, in the last couple of weeks, we've had a number of major YouTubers, I mean people who have over 1 million subscribers, announcing that they were either quitting or significantly rolling back their presence on the platform. And that has caused a lot of surprise within the YouTube community. We've heard announcements from some major players like Tom Scott, The Game Theorists, PewDiePie, Maddie Hapoja, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, among others. This has caused something of a storm between other creators and viewers on YouTube. Again, these are channels with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of subscribers. Now, being a YouTube creator as a career has not been around very long, really. But YouTube has become the largest platform for entertainment and information that's available on the internet. There are channels and communities around virtually every topic that you could imagine. So the platform has become a tremendous opportunity for people with something to share, people who are creative, to share their ideas, their talents, or just to entertain. And it's a career outlet that can become a profitable enterprise and a career option for people who are dedicated. Most successful YouTubers all say it's been their dream job. But even as Tom Scott observed, it's still a job. And here I think he effectively captured the essence of burnout that some of these major creators are experiencing and feeling as they have expanded their YouTube presence and their workload as they've grown their channel. I think Tom Scott captured what so many of these creators are experiencing with regard to the burnout that they can experience as a result of scaling up and expanding their channel and all of the workload that comes with that. Now we have to keep in mind that we each bring our own unique experience to YouTube as creators. As we begin our work on YouTube as a creator, in my case, I've already had a successful career with over 40 years of service, both in the California state legislature as well as in municipal government. I finished as a city manager, and I also had 30 years of active and Army Reserve service. I share that because YouTube and this channel is something that I personally am approaching as a hobby, as a creative outlet, not as a second career choice. So my perspective is going to be different from someone who may be depending on continued financial success from the platform to meet their financial requirements. And this is all the more true if you have built a team around your channel, which is also then depending on you to ensure the continued financial success of the channel. Those channels who may have several employees are literally depending on you for their continued personal financial success. And that can bring a lot of stress. I think it's exactly the stress that can come with a large and expanding YouTube channel that can be the major factor in some of these large YouTubers choosing to quit or scale back. I also think that in all of this, there are some important lessons and takeaways for those of us who are smaller channels and up-and-comers. For me, I'm doing this because I enjoy it, and I don't want to make decisions about structure or process that lead to stress. I want to keep things as simple as I can. I just retired, and I'm looking for less stress in my life, not more. So in this starting stage as a new creator, you're doing it all. You are the writer, videographer, you're the creator, editor, you're the researcher, you're doing everything by yourself. My point is that it's just you, and you're solely responsible for pulling together all of the elements to create what you do on YouTube. And in almost every case, we start off as creators shaky or sketchy. The content that we're putting out needs improvement, and improvement does come with time. It's a great experience because you're learning and growing. You're doing things that you have never done before in your life, in many cases, and you're solely responsible for success or failure. As time goes on, you become monetized. I'll just call this the monetization stage. Google AdSense kicks in at this time, and you start making a little bit of money. Not much, but over time, as your subscriber base grows, you become eligible for corporate sponsorships. And while this is financially great, it adds a significant new dimension to your workload and more stress. Now you have to either become very good at reviewing legal documents and making important legal decisions about those corporate relationships, or hire an attorney to make sure that you're not making mistakes. Because now you're making some money and you're making legal decisions, entering into contracts, you may also need to hire a CPA to make sure that you're running the business side of your business in a way that avoids trouble and pitfalls. And you have to become more proficient at managing the finances of your business. Having to make these decisions is great because it means your channel is profitable. Each of these decisions are important, but they also represent added workload on top of everything that you were already doing, which adds stress. The next stage of growth is what I'll call the scaling stage. And this is when a creator, after gaining a certain number of subscribers and corporate sponsorships, is prepared to add team members in order to help manage the structure and process. Some creators may add videographers. Others might add a business manager or personal assistant. And because we're all committed to improving the quality of our work, in addition to growing team structure, many channels make investments in office space as well as equipment, all of which has to be managed, organized, and maintained. And for many creators, this represents a major departure from doing the thing that they started, the thing that they loved, and that was creating. And they transition into managing people, managing structure, and managing equipment. And it's understandable that if that's not something that you set out to do, that's not your dream, not something that you love, you're going to be unhappy and it's going to bring you stress. And it seems to me like within the YouTube community, there is a lot of pressure for successful creators to scale up and to grow their staff, to grow their organization, and to professionalize their content in ways that are dramatically different from how they started at the beginning. There are large YouTube channels that have avoided this trap, but I do think it is a trap. And I think the quitting trend that we're seeing amongst some large YouTubers is a response and a rejection of the pressure to commercialize and scale up. Now, personally, I do think it's a smart idea to outsource some functional roles and responsibilities as you grow your channel when it makes sense to do that. Assembling a good business team around you as you become profitable makes sense. It does make sense to have an attorney. It does make sense to have a CPA because you want to avoid pitfalls and mistakes, especially legal pitfalls. And in both cases, you're talking about people who are paid by the hour on a consultant basis. They're not full-time staff. I could be wrong about this, but one of the potential hazards that I perceive is creators may tend to hire friends, family, or other people that they know that they're close to. And when it comes time to assert professional boundaries, communicate expectations, and hold people to those expectations, those working relationships can become frustrated. And if you have a family member or close friends who are on your payroll and absolutely depending on you financially, I can see any number of ways in which that arrangement could become very stressful, very difficult, and awkward to manage. As a former chief of staff in the California State Legislature, I had newly elected members of the Assembly and the Senate who would come to town, and one of the first things that they would want to do is hire their friends to work in their district staff. And I would always advise them, don't hire anyone that you're not prepared to fire tomorrow. And when people get this wrong, it can cause an amazing amount of stress. They would usually say, we have to fire Joe but I'm gonna need to blame it on you, okay? That's fine with me. Somebody's gotta take the blame. So on the subject of hiring and outsourcing some of your production process. So as a YouTube channel grows, it makes a lot of sense to have a plan in place to shift some of the parts of production that you don't love over to competent members of staff. That might be an independent contractor or an in-house assistant. Exactly what form it takes is going to be dependent upon your own unique circumstances. But it should be a process that reduces stress around the production process and reduces stress for you as the creator. Obviously, creators need to hire team members who are professionally capable of fulfilling their responsibilities. And hopefully, you can find the people that you need in your area. Sometimes that's easier said than done. I just want to conclude by saying, despite the quitting trend, YouTube remains a great platform and opportunity for people to bring their creative ideas, to create and to share, and to build a community around their channel. I'm excited to see what the future holds for all of us. And once again, rest assured, I'm not quitting. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.